And also, Mormons have declared war on artificial intelligence. Yeah, you heard that right. We're going to bring you all this and much, much more. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm at kolob@mormonnewsroundup.org. I'd like to welcome on my program the Glassbox legends, Shannon and Bryce. Bryce, how's it going?
Thanks for having us back. Oh, me back and having us for the show. I'm super excited for today.
Well, that's wonderful, Bryce. We've had you on before. And Shannon, how's it going? First time on the Mormon News Roundup.
I know. I'm finally able to be here this time.
Well, it's a thrill to have you on. And Bryce, you've been on before, and we really appreciate that. That was a fantastic episode. Invite everybody to go back and listen to it. We'll link it into the show notes. And Shannon, for those of you who are not familiar with you or the Glassbox podcast, who are you and what are you all about?
Well, I am Shannon Grover. I co-host a Glassbox with Bryce Blankenegel. On Glassbox, we talk about stuff in and out of Mormonism because we want to see what slipped through the cracks. As for my story, I was born in the church. I was very TBM my whole life. I did seminary. I went to BYU, served a mission, got married in the temple, fulfilled every single calling they gave me. Never said no, though I did go in finally at times saying, I can't keep this up. And I was very obedient to the put your doubts on a shelf and shut the door. And by the time I was in my mid-40s, that closet was bulging, and the November 15 policy came out against children of LGBTQ plus parents. And that was the last resort for me. That's the one that broke the door, and I just couldn't anymore. So I left the church. And since then, came to terms with why it took me so long, joined the Glassbox. And so it's a lot of fun for me right now. It's a lot more relief. And that's my story.
Well, I'm a big fan of the Glassbox podcast. For those of you who are not familiar with it, we'll discuss it a little bit more at the end of the program, but we're really looking forward to having both of you on this week. It's a real treasure. I've been a big fan of Naked Mormonism and Bryce for a long time, and Shannon, big fan of the Glassbox podcast as well. You bring a lot of energy to that podcast, which I'm sure we're going to see on display today. So our first item in the news today is an LDS bishop has been arrested, a very high profile LDS bishop.